Okay, Assalamualaikum. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to do question number 3. So question number 3 asks us to draw the graph of y equals to sine 2x, where we have another one more graph, which is y equals to x over 2 pi, where our graph, the limitation of the graph is until pi. So we know that first thing first, that you what you need to do is that you have to sketch your graph. So how are the graphs will looks like. So we have y equal to sine 2x, meaning that there will be 2 cycle, 1 and 2 cycle. And then because we see the limit is until, and this is the limit, should be 2 pi, okay? So the limit is until pi. So what we do is we have to erase for 2 pi. Okay, so this one we have to make it clearer. So what I do is I need to do my class interval. So we are going to draw our class interval. So to get to know our class interval, we have to divide it with 8. Minimum of class interval is 8. It can be more than 8. It can be, but it cannot be less than 8. Okay, so because we have 8, so we know that our first class interval should be pi over 8. Okay, and the second one should be pi over 4. The next one will be 3 pi over 8. Okay, the next one will be pi over 2. Okay, the next one will be 5 pi over 8. Next one will be 3 pi over 4. Then we have 7 pi over 4. 7 pi over 8. And last one is pi. Okay, so after we get all these values for class interval, so we have to substitute the class interval into the equation of y equal to sine 2x. So our class interval just now is x. So starting with this one, pi over 8, if you substitute it into the equation y equal to sine 2x, then you'll get the first one will be 0.71. Pi over 4 is 1. 3 pi over 8, this is at 0.71, yeah. 3 pi over 8 is equals to 0.71 as well. This is equals to 0. 5 pi over 8 is negative 0.71. 3 pi over 8 is supposed to be negative 1. 7 pi over 8 is negative 0.71. And pi is equals to 0. We should have another one just now. It should be 0. We have to start with 0, okay? So when sine 0, it should be 0. So this is the value. Okay, right, so this is the time where we have to draw the graph. So let's draw the graph. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, so we have 8 class interval. So this is our x. So our class interval start with pi over 8, and then pi over 4, and then 3 pi over 8, and then pi over 2. This one is 5 pi over 8, 3 pi over 4, 7 pi over 8, and the last one will be pi. Okay, so because the value, the maximum numbers, the maximum values is 1 for y. So what I do is I take this as 1 and this is negative 1. So this is our y, right? So start plotting the graph. So after you plot the graph, you can see that 0, we start with 0 and 0. Pi over 8 is 0.71, probably 0.5, 0.7 is here. Pi over 4 is here. 3 pi is here again. Pi over 2 is 0. 5 pi over 8 is negative 0.71. It should be somewhere here. And then 3 pi over is negative 1. And then 7 pi over 8 is 0.71, and then pi is equals to 1. That's how you draw, you plot the graph. And then what you do next is you just need to, okay, let me do it again. You just need to match. You just need to follow. You just need to draw the graph using the points that were given, that we have just now. Right, the next one is we have to draw another graph of y equals to x over 2 pi. Okay, so for this one, what I do is I just need to take two values, which is the only values that we have, that it's clearly that we have is 0 and pi. So this is y. If I substitute x of 0, x to be 0 into this formula, then I get 0. And if I substitute pi into this formula, I got 1 over 2. So I'm plotting this again using another colors. So 0 and 0 is supposed to be here, and pi is equals to 1 over 2. I should write here. 1 over 2 is here. 1 over 2 is 0.5, right? So what I do next is I take my ruler and then I just need to, okay, sorry, I do it again. Alright, so what I do is I just need to connect the point from 0 to 1 over 2. So there you go. That is my line of y equals to x over 2 pi. And the question asks us to state the solution to the trigonometric equation. So there are how many number of points? There are only 2 points. Okay, so when we see that there's only 2 points here that intersect, one from this one and another one is here. Okay, these points intersect each other because the question state asks us to find the solution to the trigonometric equation. So so the first equation would be, I'm going to, where should I write it? Okay, the next one will be, there are 2 points. So one is at 0 and another one is, if we see here, the point here shows as it is at, okay, how do we know that how many solutions that we have? So what we do is we see how many intersection between the line and also the graph of y equal to sine 2x. So what I do next is I know that the first solution, there are two solutions, which is 0 and okay, another solution that we have to find is it's somewhere here. Okay, now we know that 3 over 8 pi and pi over 2, the value is somewhere here. We need to read the value here. Okay, so what we do is we find what is the value for every boxes, every small boxes. So what I do is 3 over 8 is actually 0.375 and pi over 2 is actually 0.5 pi. So the next one is I have to find how many small boxes here carries, how many boxes here carry the values. Okay, so this is 0.375 just now. So how do we find it? 0.375 0.5 minus 0.375, meaning that we have 0.125 here, the difference. So we have to divide it by 10. So we know that each small boxes brings 0.0125. So from 0.375 pi just now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I do is 0.375 pi plus with 7 times with 0.0125. So I will get pi. Sorry, yeah, this one should be pi, yeah, because one small boxes bring 0.0125 pi. So what I do next is I just need to add this together and then I get the answer to be 0.4625. Okay, so 0.4625 because we cannot, in the graph, we cannot read like more than 2 decimal places, so we can say that this is only 0.46. That's it. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we have already settled question number 3. So we are going to solve question number 4. Now for question number 4, we know that we have two equations, x minus 3y equals to 1, and another one is x squared plus 3xy plus 9y squared equals to 7. So there are two equations here. So we have one linear equation and another one is non-linear equation. So to make it easier to solve this simultaneous equation, we have to make that linear equation to be the subject. So we make x as the subject, so x will be 1 plus 3y. So what I do next is I say that this is equation number 3 because I have labeled it at first. So what I do next is I substitute equation 3 into 2. So what happened if I substitute equation 3 into equation 2? So it happens to be something like this. Okay, so I'm replacing all my x to be 1 plus 3y. So meaning that if we replace that with y, so it happens to be that the only variable that left is y in this equation. Okay, so make it equals to 0. So simplify it again until you only see a quadratic equation in the general form. That's it, right? So we have 9y squared here, 9y squared here, and 9y squared here. So you have 27y squared plus 6y and 3y is equals to 9y plus 1 minus 7 is equals to negative 6 equals to 0. So from this equation we can see that it can be simplified into when we divide it with 3, right? So when we divide it with 3, when we simplify it, it happens to be 9y squared plus 3y minus 2 equals to 0. So at this moment, at this level, what we do is we have to make sure that if we want to, we can solve it either using the quadratic equation or using the formula. So if we just use our calculator and substitute it into the calculator, and then after we factorize, I got the answer to be 3y minus 1, and another one is 3y plus 2 equals to 0. So I have y equals to 1 over 3, and the value of y, another one is negative 2 over 3. So at this moment, I've got two y's. I got two values of y. One is y equals to 1 over 3, so I substitute into 1. So when I substitute into 1, I substitute into 3. So when I substitute into 3, so this is the equation of 3, yeah? So I substitute my y into this equation. Then the first one, for y equals to 1 over 3, I got it is equals to 2. And for y equals to negative 2 over 3, when I substitute into x equals to 1 plus 3, negative 2 over 3, so I get 1 minus 2, which is equals to negative 1. So we have y equals to 1 over 3 and x equals to 2, or y equals to negative 2 over 3 and x equals to negative 1. Okay, for next question number 5, what we have here is a rectangular wall painted with red, blue and yellow subsequently. The height of the wall is 2 meters, so meaning that we know that the height is 2 meters. The side length of the first color rectangle is 5 cm, so we know that this is 5 cm. Okay, and the next one is, and the side length of each subsequent colored rectangle is increased by 3. So we know that if this is 5 cm, so the next one will be increased by 3, so we know that this will be 8 cm. And increase more by 3, then this will be 11 cm. So from this we know that our A is actually 5 and our D is equals to 3, because it increased 3 after another rectangle. Okay, so the question said that then it is given that the total number of colored rectangle is 54. So we have all 54 rectangles altogether. Okay, so the first question is A. The question number one is the side length in the cm of the last color rectangle. So we want to find the last color of rectangle. So we know that we have T54. So these are all T54 means these are all the rectangles that been colored at the wall. So using the formula of arithmetic equation, so we have Tn equals to A plus n minus 1 times with D. So A is equals to 5 plus 53 times with 3. So we should have the answer to be as 164 cm. So that should be the length of the side length of the last color of the rectangle. Okay, so number 2, the total length in cm of the painted wall. So we have 54 rectangles altogether. So if we want to find the total length in cm of the painted wall, so what we do is we just need to add all the sides length of the colored rectangle. So we have S54, which is equals to, the formula is n over 2 A plus, because we know that our last sides of the triangle is L, so we can write another equation or another formula of to be L. Okay, so n is 54 over 2 times A is 5 plus 164. So if you calculate this, you'll get the answer to be 4563 cm. Okay, so we have solved question number 2. And the last question is B. That brings you 3 marks. Which color rectangle has an area of 28,000? Okay, just now we have our A to be 5 and our D to be 3. Now, because the question wants us to find the area now, area of the particular rectangle. So, alright, so we have the first one, rectangle. Okay, so the first rectangle is 2 meter and this one is 5 cm. So we have to find the area of each rectangle. So we have to change using only one unit. So because we know that this is meter and cm, so we can change it to 200 cm so that they have the same unit of the area. So we have this one as 1000 and another one, at least we should have 3 or 4 or more, could be better. But if you have 3 of the sequence, then it should be okay. So 5 cm, just now we add another 3 cm, so this happens to be 8, and this one is the same one, 200. So we have this one is 1600, and another one should be 8. This is 11, so this is 200. So we have 2200. So when we see here that this is still an arithmetic progression because it increased like 600, right? So the difference between the area from one colored to another color rectangle is 600. So for this one, we have A is equals to 1000 and our D to be minus it with 1000, it is equals to 600. So for this one, state the color of that particular rectangle that has an area of 28,000. So what we do is that we just need to do, we want to find the number of that rectangle. So we have Tn equals to 28,000. So using the formula of Tn just now, which is A is 1000 plus n minus 1, we haven't know the value of n yet, times with 6,000 equals to 28,000. Okay, our mission is to find the n. So Tn is equals to, so if we simplify this, you'll get 1000 plus 6000 and minus 6,000 equals to 28,000. So you simplify this, you'll get 6,000 and minus 1 equals to 27,000. So n minus 1 is equals to 45 and n equals to 46. So the number of the rectangle is 46. How do we know that the color is 46? So how do we know that what color is that particular rectangle, so what we do is we have to divide 46 with 3. And then when you divide it with 3, what happened is you got 46 divided by 3, you got 16, so 15, right? So the balance is 1. 1 is the number or the rectangle that comes at the very first of the rectangle, so it is red. So we can say that it is red. If you got the value to be 2, then it should be brown. If you got no numbers here, okay, then you should get yellow, right?